Hello everyone and welcome back to Willow Creek, and today we are going to be fixing parts of the build that either just don't look as good as I thought they did when I built it, or things that could be fixed with the Detailers Patch Part 2. So first, I'm going to fix the roads that I had to reset to vanilla networks, just to make sure the game was a little more stable. They did fix the crashing issue, but I don't want to take too many risks, because sometimes crashing can break your save game and make it not recoverable. Also, the supernode broke the replace tool there, so I had to rebuild that road. And then we have to fix the zoning here. We're also going to fix the pedestrian street by the park, because that also ended up being from the Mirror Road Assets pack, which had deprecated probably in like episode 3 when I was doing this build, but I just never got around to fixing that. In the park, in the city here, we're just going to do the same thing. And then we're going to put this path back where it should be. Now we're going to fix the roads by the school that also broke. We're also going to have to use Move It to just make these look a little less wonky. Now we're going to add stains and damage decals to this parking lot, because I didn't do that when I first built this. I'm not really sure why, but whatever, we're fixing it now. We're also going to do the same thing to this parking lot, because when I built this, I think in episode 2, I was like, we're not going to build this as aggressively in the last episode. I take that back now, because it just doesn't look good. I realized that a little after that. One of my errors disappeared. That's fun. Now we're going to get rid of the lines of trees on the highway, because when I placed the segments of lines, the trees just didn't, like, they were a little wonky in between them. So I'm just going to redo that. Also not as effective as a sound buffer as the grove of trees, I guess, that we're going to place in between the highway and the houses. And aside from working as a better sound buffer, they're also not going to see the highway from where they live, which is going to be nice for them. Now I'm going to add some poplar trees in the median of the highway. And these you see to stop people from, like, skidding off the road and going into the wrong way of traffic. So these sort of act as like a buffer. I left Anarchy off here just so that I could have these not on top of the road, which would sort of defeat the purpose of fixing it. We're actually going to add the grove in front of the shopping plaza, because when I first did this, I thought that they would obstruct the view of the shopping plaza, but then I realized that the buildings are already blocking it, so that doesn't really matter. Now I'm going to demonozone the neighborhood that we built last episode, because I originally just used North American low density housing and it didn't look that good. I'm also going to add some of the new cul-de-sacs in the game, except where the suburban road cut them off, because the roads were originally connected and were just severed later, so it wouldn't really make sense to make it look like the cul-de-sac was there originally. And I'm just going to throw on some music for the rest of the time lapse. Here we're going to redo the beach because it doesn't look that good. And instead of the default sand, we're going to use just Sully's other beach sand asset pack, which I had originally but I didn't use for some unknown reason. I'm also going to use the wet sand closer to the water instead of, I think, just white sand and then like light sand and then dark sand like I did originally. I'm also going to add chairs and blankets to the beach that it looks like people actually want to come down here, because currently there's no real activities, but by placing these down we can make it look like people actually care about this place. We're also going to add some chairs to go with the blankets. I use mostly commercial chairs here because they look the most like something you'd bring to the beach, but I'm also going to use some like deck chairs and stuff like that. I'm also going to add some chairs off the blankets as well. I actually forgot to replace this road here, which originally was also one of those narrow pedestrian streets. I'm actually going to overlap that part where the sand goes from solid to sort of semi-transparent here, just because it doesn't fade out as well. That looks a lot better than the original one. Now we're going to add a track here because I got a comment saying no track, you get an F minus. And I realized like I already placed the field here and it's about the same size as the track asset for the high school, so I might as well just add that on. Well, first we're going to extend the road out. And we're just going to add some parking here. These aren't completely even, so we're just going to fix that. We're also going to add a manicured grass surface in here just to make this area look like it's been maintained. Also going to add some trees in between the parking lots or the parking roads just so that the area looks a little nicer. Now we're going to build an apartment complex, sort of like what we did in episode 2, except instead of medium density housing, we're just going to use low rent housing. I'm also going to add a medium parking lot. And then change the zoning there to make it work. We're going to have two like relatively large low density housing buildings. Now we're going to put some mulch on the ground. There isn't actually a mulch surface, so I'm just using one of Sully's riverbed surfaces. And then I'm going to place some trees in here. Also going to put some bushes around the oak trees, just make it look a little nicer, I guess. And I should not space those that far. Also going to add some more trees closer to the roads just to make this look a little more filled in. Now we're going to add some bushes along the sides of the low-rent housing buildings and actually remove parking from the side of these streets close to the median parking lot. And that wraps it up for today. I hope you enjoyed watching this one. My goal is to never have to make another one of these because I want all the builds from now on to be good quality and detailed. And so, hope you enjoyed watching. Please consider liking and subscribing. Now you can have some before and after pictures to see what we've done today.